The League of Conservation Voters, which counts New York billionaire Michael Bloomberg as a top donor, is spending $15 million on House races across the country. Here in Washington state, the group's effort here represents their largest single ad buy this election season.
It's a record that brings back memories.
A new League of Conservation Voters ad called hits Republican Dino Rossi for his record in Washington State Senate.
The 45,000 kids Rossi kicked off health care.
This is an assertion that surfaced in previous ads, citing an article about a health study on the number of uninsured children following the 2003 budget negotiation, a year when the state faced a massive budget shortfall. The Washington State Health Care Authority told King 5 it's true that changes made by the legislature reduced the number of children on public health insurance by around 45,000. However, a spokeswoman says that's because certification requirements were tightened. PolitiFact also notes that most of the eligible children regained coverage when the rules changed back in 2005.
His votes against protecting our drinking water.
This part of the ad references a state Senate bill also from 2003 that would have blocked Washington agencies from adopting rules that exceed federal standards without legislative authority. The bill passed the Senate, but did not pass the House.
The tax breaks he supported for corporate polluters.
Finally, this part of the ad refers to the GOP tax bill passed by the U.S. Congress, which Rossi has said he supports. The League of Conservation Voters points to changes in the federal tax code that lowers tax rates for corporations, including oil and gas operators. Now, Dino Rossi noted during last week's debate that Washington Conservation Voters, this state affiliate or state chapter here, gave Rossi a Distinguished Deeds recognition back in 2002, and that is true. But WCV, which scores lawmakers on environmental issues, says it gave Rossi just a 31% lifetime score and a 0 score in 2017 when he was appointed back to the legislature for a one-year period. Now, a spokesman for the Rossi campaign counters that he has a long and proud history of environmental protection and notes that he served on the board of the Nature Conservancy. By the way, we've been fact-checking as many political ads as possible. We have them on our website, king5.com/politics. Back to you.